Mr. Afnan Zafar from Renault, Malaysia. Ladies and gentlemen, could you please invite here on stage Mr. Afnan to begin his talk on trend in digital marketing. Thank you.
A very good morning to all of you. Thank you very much to Malaysia University of Science and Technology to invite me for this talk. I do not want to go through a lot of theories or a lot of probably in terms of diagrams, which I'm sure that you guys are much familiar and better than me. So what I decided that to talk probably more onto what's happening in the market in terms of the digital marketing right now, and how in the industry we utilize a lot of research works to keep up into the market competitiveness. So I'll start with my introduction to all of you. My name is Afnan. I'm currently heading the marketing department, which is more into the integrated marketing department. It combines the conventional as well as digital marketing for the Malaysia market as well as for the region. I also work as a regional communications director for Renault Formula One team. Sorry. So, okay, I'll skip that too much of picture. Just before starting my talk, I just wanted to go through a slight information on the Renault for those who are not very familiar with Renault. We are a global company, and currently we are the number one alliance in the automotive industry in the world. Basically, we are present at 134 countries, starting from 1898. And right now we are still growing in a lot of market, especially at the Asian side. In terms of the growth, currently we are working with Nissan, as well as recently we have acquired Mitsubishi. So the alliance, what we say is Renault, Nissan, Mitsubishi alliance. And in terms of our vision to 2030 is basically going into the fully autonomous in the whole world instead of driving the conventional cars right now, what we are doing. Those are dreams, and we are working towards that. Sorry again. So with that, let me start today. Just wanted to provide some information to you guys on what's happening on digital in the world right now, as well as to give you some information on the local markets. So in the global perspective, what we can see that digital has taken over a lot of areas in marketing right now. A lot of companies are moving from conventional marketing towards the digital marketing. But on my personal perspective is both the world of conventional and digital are very important and has to work hand in hand. With here, just giving you an idea where Malaysia is right now in terms of digital world, or more specific to social media areas. 75% of the Malaysia, of the countries that represent in the world are using the social media platforms for their personal and business daily usage. We are probably number 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th in the ranking of the world, which shows a massive growth from the 2016. If you see in the 2016, the usage for social media in Malaysia was 62%, and 2017 it grew to 71%, and now 75%. In terms of the active social platforms that most use platforms, obviously it is Facebook, which pretty much I'm sure that every one of us use currently, followed by YouTube, WhatsApp, and other platforms, and as well as I highlighted Instagram because it's growing. So we can see the trends that every probably 3 to 5 years, the social platforms or even the digital platforms change and evolve. And a lot of human behavior are behind that reason as well. In terms of in Malaysia, what we can see currently is 76% of Malaysians, they are the heavy internet users right now, compared to 23%, which is 7.5 million are not using, and over 24 million Malaysians are on internet. In terms of how Malaysia internet, we can see that smartphone is the main channel for utilizing internet access. It can be social usage, it can be the market research, it can be for buying decision. We can very much right now can see that the usage of notebooks or desktop laptops are very, very less compared to, for example, like our time, back this time when we were studying or just started our work. We all used to have laptops, and we were like, oh, I need my laptop wherever I go. Right now, everyone just uses their smartphones, and it has to be a part of their life. Even for example, on my side, if I give an example for daily works, if I do not have my laptop with me, I still can access to my work anywhere I go with my smartphone, and pretty much I can manage a part of the work through the smartphones. So it's a very important channel to communicate with the consumers right now, from I won't say automotive, but pretty much all of the industry. They're focusing on smartphones, smartphone marketings. In terms of top internet users, sorry, my slide is slightly small in the size. I'll just read through some of the points, which is the number one important point for the internet usage is communication. We all use WhatsApp, we all use probably other social channels to communicate with our friends, employees, and a lot of organization usage used their internal application to communicate between us. A new channel has grown recently is Google G Suite for organization. Basically, it makes all of our network easier in terms of sharing our files globally, in terms of working on the files globally, as well as communicating with our internal employee. For example, I'm in Malaysia. I have to communicate with France within the correct time span. I can probably use my G Suite internal organizations chat group, and I can even create groups if I want to have a meeting. I can even do video calls instead of flying over there. It's not only saving cost for us, as well as it's very efficient because I get every decision immediately. And one good point is a lot of time what happens in organization is I set a meeting and a lot of people will say that, hey, I'm not in the office. I'm not working today. But with these connected interfaces, most likely, unless you're on lead or MC, you have to join the conference so that I don't have to wait for a longer period to get the approvals on a lot of words. Number 2 point comes on the social. It's a very, very important aspect in the market right now. I won't say right now, sorry, because it has started years ago, but back this time we worked in chat groups or another sharing application group where people just want to talk. But right now it's literally has taken over a big portion, big chunk of the marketing area. In fact, over 80% of the current industry players who are working on digital, focusing on social media marketing instead of the conventional digital marketing. The conventional digital marketing is basically every time you go to the website, you can see the ads from the industry. We used to buy those spots to advertise our products, but it's no more like that. It has changed. It has evolved. The rest of the information is pretty much important, but it's a daily usage as a personal, like for example, watching TV behavior changed from watching through a TV to watching through YouTube and many other channels that are available. It depends on the personal choices as well. And of course, study purpose, work purpose, as well as online shopping. Interesting part is online shopping is still 50% in Malaysia. In many other countries, it has evolved very, very strongly. For example, in China, is one of the famous trend right now. In fact, a lot of people does not carry cash, so they have WeChat and they can pay through WeChat. Even I've bought items from the vending machine by using a WeChat. So this is one area is growing. We believe that it will grow. In fact, people like us who are in automotive, we do not sell cars online because the customer behavior in this region is not such that they will buy car online, but it's growing. So companies like Volkswagen, companies like Mini, they have actually tried recently to sell cars online on a special occasion, but it has to come more so that they purchase a car online. So in terms of the total, top social platforms, as I was mentioning, that of course it's Facebook, Instagram is growing. You can see that previously the YouTube was on the second position after Facebook, but right now Instagram has taken that places. And followed by other areas. Google is increasing again on the social platforms, which was missing in their previous business model. We want to see that area as well because it will be a very good connectivity towards the market as well. So as I was saying that, sorry, my slide has supposed to be 3. in terms of today's talk, I just wanted to tell you guys that what's happening in terms of the latest trends in the market, instead of going back and talk about the same marketing trends was going on, which pretty much known by every one of you. Right, so the first topic I wanted to talk, it's called Reschedule. I'm not sure how many of you have heard of the terms, but it's a new trend in the digital marketing right now. So Reschedule means physical and digital. So give an example. Previously, for example, 15 years back or even slightly more, people used to do marketing physically. So you will go to the shopping mall, someone will promote to you. For car industries, we probably will send a leaflet to the different places to tell people that, hey, we have some event going on, or this is our product promotion, which has evolved to the digital. And what we do currently is basically, instead of going only physically to the customers, we actually reach them through digital. And when we say that reach to the people, it also has evolved to a level where we literally can target who we want to target. It's not like, for example, every one of you, I want to show my product or promotion information. Let's say 40% of them I want to share with. So on digital, I can learn who are those customers and focus on them, show them about the product and promotion. I can also customize those messages. For example, you see one message on the pricing of the product, but and you walked into my showroom, and then you have said that, oh, I don't want to buy it. I want to think and see what's available in the market on more fuel-efficient cars. So I know that you're looking for fuel-efficient car. So the next ad you will see is basically more messaging on the fuel efficiency, so that I can tell you that, hey, this car is fuel efficient. Come and try it again, or put it in your list of favorite. So from there, now digital is more into that. Bringing both of the world working together, giving a customer a full experience by the touch of the digital world as well as the physical world. I will give you an example slightly later. Before that, I just wanted to talk about the next topic. Then I will share the video, which will give you a better idea. The second topic is video marketing, which is, I'm pretty much sure that everyone knows that nowadays everything is going on video. A lot of viral by different industry leaders, or even the small or medium industry. People at this time, they don't want to read a lot of text. They do not want to spend, for example, like half an hour or 1 hour to know that, oh, what's in this product, or what's in it for me. It's probably not a very good habit that we used to have back those times, that we used to read a lot. So but then it has changed to a new behavior that I want to watch. I want to watch a video which interests me. If it's boring, they will probably watch 5 seconds. That's a 3 to 5 seconds is an industry number that people, we have to catch the attention for a consumer. After that, they will probably skip. That's why you will see in YouTube, after 5 seconds, you will have a skip button. That's where we start to pay. Means if you watch more than 5 seconds, I pay. If you don't watch more than 5 seconds, I don't pay. So what I'm trying to say, that 5 second gap I have, to get the attraction, get the interest of the consumer. So that's where the video marketing has a lot of area to improve even now. And if you see the numbers, 43% consumer, this is a global number, not Malaysia only, still prefers video content because it's easy, it gives them fun, and they like to share. A text, most of the people doesn't want to share. And it's not surprising, but the average mobile video viewing for one person is 36 minutes. It's a per day. So it means that as a person, with intention or without intention, we usually will see videos, average number, which is 36 minutes a day. And we expect that the video ad spend will increase to 49%. It's roughly 18 billion in 2018. It's a big market going still now. So let's, okay, is there a, because it's a video, it's not playing. Sorry, I just wanted to play the video which needs a Wi-Fi. Give me some minutes. The play button is not that. Okay, sure. All right, sorry for that tech error. This is a video that I wanted to play, which we have made 2 years back, not 2 years, 1.5 years back, where what we have done is we have provided the VR experience to our consumers. Basically, someone gets into the flight and we give them the VR sets where they actually see some video. It's basically to give them some experience of the VR experience, but then when they land at their exit point, the exact video has been replicated into the field. So basically, it's just created a viral. It went viral over the globe. Although it's one of our region's activity. So yeah, enjoy the video first. Right. So this video has been created when we launched Colloquium, and we wanted to do something different. And well, it's a very sales-driven campaign, but it's more into the experience-driven campaign. So people does remember what is Renault Colloquium about. So that's what we wanted to do. So the video had I can't remember exact number, but a few millions of viewing within the first week, and we have increased almost 132% of the sales drive conversion just from the airlines industry. Of course, we only targeted business class passengers and not most of the economy class passengers. Of course, because of the size of the consumer in economy class over there. If you guys have any question, please stop me. I'll be fine. So if not, I will probably go to the next topic, which I wanted to talk on artificial intelligence. Actually, there are two topics here. We all has been working on big data, which is the bigger name right now in the market every big company like Maxis or even Petronas and many other corporates in Malaysia or even globally, they're talking about big data. AirAsia is a very good example in the airlines industry who uses big data on a daily basis because they want to know that what sort of consumers they're having for which destination and printed them different messaging. For example, they do not show me a number of their ads which are not relevant to me. They probably know that where I'm flying usually and what I'm looking for. A small example is sometimes we go to the airline's website, we check the flight, and we exit the site. We don't book. But by doing that, we actually drop a cookie in the airline's database, and based on that cookie, the artificial intelligence, which is basically the backend system, tells us that, hey, these are the customers. They came, they searched the flight for France, but they did not book. And these are the customer, out of them, they have actually searched on multiple times for the same flight. So out of that, basically, we have to decide that probably those who came to the site and searched for the same destination on a multiple occasion, they're probably more interested, but they wanted to see what other offers they have in the market. And so basically those people, the airline will have a different set of ads will be shown to them, probably catered to the France. And for the other people, they go to their website and they see the different message. That's why a lot of times your friends will say, hey, did you see the airline's AirAsia promotion that day? And you say, no, I saw something else. So that is how on the front end we see the differences of messaging to the consumers, but at the back end, artificial intelligence has been growing to help us to decide, so that we do not have to go and work on a huge data manually. I'll give another good example. On a group level, in Malaysia, we are a part of the Tanjung Group. And the biggest player of Tanjung Group in the market is Nissan. And Nissan has been playing in the market over 50 years, compared to us is like 10, 12 years. So 50 years they have, and also Nissan has been into the top 3 for many years. So they have millions of data which they need to actually understand. And from there they have to come up with product planning, pricing planning, and other marketing strategies. So think of 50 years back, or not 50 years, sorry, 30 years back, when they have thousands of data, they have to go through literally manually with Excel and find out that which model, they have how many inquiries, what people are looking for, what are the feedback for each of the models. It's very difficult. So now we simply have a dashboard which says what we want to hear. If we want to customize, we customize as we want. The platform has much evolved onto the, oh, there's supposed to be another slide. Sorry, I'll go through these first. The bots, it's called, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with chat bots. This has evolved based on the artificial intelligence technologies which we can access currently. So chatbots are taking over a lot of job scope though. A lot of people are very anxious that their job will be taken off in recent years, especially in the industry like call centers. Because a lot of bigger companies has moved to chatbots although they have physical presence, but those are minimum. Give you the same example of AirAsia or even Standard Chartered. You go to the, you want to contact the AirAsia customer service, you have only one option. Beside the numbers they have, but they don't entertain those numbers much. You have to go to the chat screen, and then you have to wait like 1 hour for someone to respond to you. But that's of course because of their severity of consumers. But then when you will say that, hi, I need a help. Someone will say with a name, will tell you that, how may I help you? And then you will say that, okay, I want to know about my flight. Is it on time because I received a message that is delayed? And the next question will that, okay, can I have your flight number? You give the flight number, it just says you that, okay, your flight has been delayed at this time, at this time. But this is mostly the common questions that we have. And these are preset questions based on, there are multiple ways, but usually based on keywords. And these are saved into the system. For AirAsia, probably they have thousands of those ad sets. So basically, whenever someone is inquiring the similar questions, you will see those messages. So another good example will be the banking industry, especially Standard Chartered, even Maybank currently. You will, when you call their toll-free number, most of the time and most of the basic questions will be answered through the phone, unless you request for a customer service consultant. I don't think I have that. Oh, I have the number, which is 80% calls. This is from Standard Chartered in Malaysia. That 80% calls they receive is basically for balance inquiry. So they don't need a lot of people sitting down there to check and tell the people that your balance is this. With this, not only it becomes efficient because it's very less time consuming, but also it basically, how I see that it basically gives them opportunity to employ those people towards other workforce. So that's how the tech is increasing right now. I go back to the slides again, which I did not read previously, just to give you a importance of AI in the marketing. It's basically, this is a survey has been done by demand base. Okay. To understand that how the market feels about the importance of AI. And 98% foresee benefits of using AI for their company's marketing. It's becoming a crucial part of the marketing. And these are some of the areas they think AI can help in marketing in terms of providing better insights on accounts, providing a more detailed analysis of campaigns, which is right now we're doing in this stage as well, because accounts is not in our portfolio as well. And the third important point for the AI is identifying prospective customer. This is very, very crucial, especially although we are globally, we are the top automakers, but when it comes to Malaysia or even in the region, we are still growing. We are still one of the smallest players in the market, but growing heavily. So this plays very important role to us. We will have a smaller budget compared to many other countries. We have to make sure that we use those budgets very efficiently. So instead of advertising on papers, which cost us a lot, but also we do have to have some sort of presence in paper, we usually go and understand the market, understand the customer, and only communicate with potential customers. So we go on quality instead of quantity. So that's actually another trend which I don't have here, but that's another trend is happening right now in the market. Previously, we wanted leads. We wanted a lot of leads. flooded with leads. But eventually, with time, we realized that what is the point? We have thousands of leads if they're not interested. Unless I want to market my product in terms of branding and not for only selling focused. So for branding, yes, we need a lot of leads so that we can communicate with those. But when it comes to selling or a minor branding practice, it is very crucial that we communicate with quality people instead of quantity. So this is an example, actually two examples. One is here. It's just a sample to show that how the chatbots are doing. So first of all, it's a travel agency example where basically the consumer said, I would like to book a hotel. And one very important thing is that chatbots is no more boring like before. So you see that how it communicates is, sure, which city you will like to travel to. So it's more like a friend is talking, and after the person said New York City, so the reply came, what date do you want to travel? And then vice versa tomorrow, and the next question is how many nights you want to travel for. So on the top, you can see that these are the keywords has been set by the company, and the questions are set here. In modern time, you actually can see some of these keywords at the bottom of the chat screens. Means you don't want to go through the whole process. You can just select the question and you will get answer immediately. So if you do not want a very critical information, the basic information, you can get it like within 5 minutes time or even less, and then you exit. And then the travel agency get the information and send you the details probably within, if they want, they can even send you within the 15 minutes or 30 minutes time. So that's how industry has evolved right now. And most of the time, we think that we are talking to someone. So that even happened to me when it started. I was like, okay, so then I had some complaints back this time. And when I started to complain, then I realized that there was a pause. And then someone was entertaining, and the behavior of the conversation was different. And that was like 5 years back when probably the chat bot has started only, but right now it has evolved. How many of you here use Google Assistant? Okay, all right, only one. Okay, it's a new platform, of course. I use a Note. Personally, I'm a fan of Note for quite a long time. Previously, I'm in automotive, but I used to do it like when I drive. I'm in a slow traffic or something. I tend to quickly do a message or WhatsApp to friends or something, or whoever I'm meeting. I think that is safe, but it's not. Don't do it. Now, I don't have to do it. I just talk to my phone. My phone can write the message or WhatsApp or whatever I want to do and activate it. Of course, it's not 100% accurate yet, but that's working. So that's actually advanced AI-based chatbot as well at the back end. So Google wants to bring these to the next level probably in years. So in future, the number I have showed you that smartphones has evolved. Sorry, the usage of smartphones to access the internet will be there, but the smartphone technology will change. So you don't use your hands anymore. Probably you will just speak to your phone, and the phone is able to do anything. And I've seen Samsung's. I was in a guest at Samsung last year. And they have showed some products that are in the pipeline, which are amazing. It will change the whole industry, and the whole, not only chatbot, but the other artificial intelligence in the marketing way will change. So So the reason I wanted to show this is basically on the chat screens, you do not see any sort of marketing activities right now. But as it's evolving, it's a good platform for slighter way to communicate with the customer. Although it should be relevant, for example, if you're looking for travel, maybe it can show an ad for airlines, hotels, booking.com. These are the possibilities which has not been evolved yet. So it should be by this year that we should be able to actually communicate to people through chatbots. This is an example that we use, not in Malaysia, unfortunately, but in France we have started in 2009, and now I believe that 35% of the market is using it. So we call it Lisa. We also have David and a few other persons. Basically, when you have any questions to Renault, instead of a usual very static-based chatbots, there will be a lady or a guy, depending on what queue you are in. So he or she basically will answer your questions, and it's an animated person, so it has some different moves. So it doesn't feel like very like you're talking and just seeing into the blank space or blank photo. So it can give you some of the expression. It's still under the testing because it has to evolve. So the idea is basically that it can give you the expression based on your questions. So for example, if you ask some surprising questions, so they will show surprising face. So that's the whole idea. But it's still, as I said, that it's still testing, and it has to come to that stage. But the important part here is basically we do receive. Lisa deals 1,000 requests right now per day, and she basically works pretty much as a sales assistant. So someone is inquiring for the car, and she will guide them through one by one steps, and also basically the different FAQ has been set for Lisa, and she's able to answer to those questions to the customer. The next is another important part is the voice marketing. The voice marketing is basically it relates to what I was saying just now, that we talk to smartphones. So there is when we talk to a smartphone, how it works is basically it takes the voice recognition software will take our pitch, and then it will match to the ad. Match to the FAQ questions, and then it will serve me the answers as required. For example, if you look for in the Google, you say that open WhatsApp message, Dr. Shaheen, type this. So it will open the WhatsApp, open Dr. Shaheen's message screen, and type those message into the phone, and then it will ask you, do you want to send this message? You say yes, it goes back. So everything based on the pitch. So what is right now we are talking is basically how we can use this to market product to the consumer. So basically we want to match those pitch of individual people with, for example, you go to Google and you do the Google search by your voice instead of typing the message. So you say that Renault capture promotion Malaysia. You don't type it, you say it to the Google, because it has increased the number of search is doing by the Google search. So Google will search into its database, and it will show you the promotion, all the promotion activities from Renault Malaysia, on the capture. So how it does is basically that it match the speech, which is Renault, capture, promotion, and Malaysia, these four words. And then it shows you the exact messaging that the consumer is looking for. But this is from Google side, which they converts our text to the speech and they try to match. But we want to, we also want to do that, how we can make it evolved into the next stage. So it's a very new area, and most of us has not been probably activated into the real world marketing yet. But this is one area we are seeing that in 2018 or 19 will be evolved. So just some idea that currently what consumers are searching by voice. I have basically divided into the two categories. Teens, which is basically towards the 20 years old. It's not 18. After that, we just kept it to the adults. So for the teens, they prefer to do voice search for calling someone, asking directions, which is Waze or Google. We are using probably already. Help with homework. I didn't know that, but they will use that. But this is pretty much same like doing research probably for them. Playing a song, finding movie times, as well as checking the time, probably the movie times and other important times they have. When going for adults, the behavior has changed. So they go more for directions because we travel. And when we travel, we use Waze, we use Google Maps, and most of the time, we'll just talk to them to give some direction. Dictate text, as I was giving my example. So this is the number 2 important part. So we don't type anymore. We talk to the phone for giving for activating what we want. And then comes call someone, check the time, play songs, and finding movie times. Where do we use voice search? This is pretty interesting. For both of the segment, for teen segments, it's number 1 is with friends. When they are with friends, they tend to use voice search. We also thought that why you don't talk to the friends instead you want to do voice search. So I think it's my own perspective is that's the new millennium that we're talking about. So these guys are multitasking. These guys want to do different things at the same time. They don't care that we're talking to the friends and we cannot do another word. Like for example, we sitting down for paper, we say that having use of our mobile phones is a bad habit. For the new generation, it's not. They're fine. So this is one reason that it's very increasing. When for the adults, it's mostly during the watching TV. It can be the relaxed time as well. We only use one question. So, and interesting is here when we are in the washroom, we want to do voice search because we can't text. So we just talk to our phone. So a lot of people like to do the same while they're cooking. Of course, for adults, it's much higher because probably they're the one cooking instead of usually the kids or the young people, the teens, they won't cook. And during the exercising, which is very much expected because when you're running on the treadmill, you don't have anything to do. Although it's risky for you, but any of us goes to the gym, I think we can see that there are someone that who is either texting, which the behavior is changing to that doing the voice search. So which is slightly safer than the texting because when you're running and texting, something goes wrong, you're out of the treadmill. So I'm not saying that voice search is still a good way to do it, but it's a safer way probably. Okay. Do you guys have any question for the points that I've shared for the current marketing trends? If not, I will probably move slightly towards academic. But the reason I wanted to share it because when we were studying, doing our masters and other education platforms, we were thinking that we do so many analytics, we do so many research. Why? I mean, when I will go to the work, these won't be necessary for me or these won't be important for us. I just wanted to say that how I use some of those areas and which are important to create marketing strategies. And those are the importance of the research in those areas as well. Any question or shall I? Right. So let's give some idea that how the strategic marketing plan in most of the organization, how it develops. So usually there will be 4 areas, which is number 1 is of course goals. Our company will have a mission and objectives where we want to go. Current situation. So we have goals where we want to go, but before we go there, we need to know where we are. So if we do not know where we are, we just simply communicate with people and probably waste our money and effort. Yeah, that's pretty much doesn't take us from current situation to the goals. And when we know our goals, when we know our current situation, the next comes how we close this gap between the current situation and where we want to be. Then basically, when we know that we all agree that we want to do this, it comes to the implementation and spending money to get into the operational plan. So in terms of current situation, we do have to actually assess the current market. We have to see our competitors. We have to see our competitors' product line, their pricing strategy. Not only that, we have to also see that what is our the one step above and one step below competitors are doing, because those are the market segments might consider our product. The gap is not that much. So these are some of the information we need to know. From there, we basically come up with SWOT analysis to know that what is our strengths, where we are weak, and other points. And then we have to assume that what we need to do to strengthening our weakness and how we can utilize our strength further and other necessary areas as needed at a particular time. And once we have basically have our assumption, we go into strategize the plan, and of course each plan should have some KPIs which we want to achieve, and then we plan basically that what are the tactics to achieve those plans, and then we budget an operational plan. The reason I showed here is basically the second step of which is current situation is very important, where the market research come. And if you realize here, I have divided into 2 parts, which is one is market research and the other is marketing research. A number of times we just say marketing research or we just say market research, but we need to understand that these two are totally different ideas, and the focus for these 2 areas has to be completely, not completely different, different because there are some overlapping areas. So some of the examples for market research is to know about the market. And most of the part in marketing research will be most towards the operational, means what will be within my marketing plan, and because for that, to develop that, what my competitors are doing. So these are two different things. Examples for marketing research is market trends, market size, target market. Technical research for us very important because we need to see that what are the product definitions happening for the market right now. For example, crossover and SUV in the automotive segment is increasing in Malaysia, and that is a market research. And when I know that, I can move to marketing research to further research on those segments. So in marketing research is mostly the how is effectiveness of my campaigns, so that we can decide that whether to run similar campaigns or change the behavior of the campaigns. We do A/B and copy testing. A/B testing is basically, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with it, but for one product, we develop multiple promotional message and visuals. Give an example, Renault Capture. I will develop probably 4 sets of marketing visuals with different color. With the same ad copy, says that it has promotion, blah, 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 blah. And then we run it for 1 to 2 weeks to see which color works better. So if after 2 weeks we see that red color works better, a lot of people are clicking on that, we will keep that. And then we work on the copy to see that what copy works better. So that's how it takes 2 to 3 weeks on digital world to actually do the A/B testing and come up with the perfect set, almost perfect set, which works for you for at least next 4 to 5 weeks, because after 4 to 5 weeks, it becomes blind spot. So within that time, you test other ad sets as a preparation for your next killing line. So yeah, in the market research, we also have to see that the brand attitude. So how, as a brand, I want to portray myself with the customer, and how others in the competitor, doing that. If there is a market, which I was just talking with Dr. Shaheen, that in Myanmar or countries like Bangladesh, these countries are very much Toyota focused because they have recon vehicles, which is cheap. So over there, your brand attitude doesn't work because people just want recon cars. As a brand, for a fact, I know that Toyota have their presence as a brand in countries like Bangladesh, Myanmar, Nepal, other places, but people do not go there and buy because they like to just go to the recon cars and buy it cheaper but better car. So countries like slightly bigger, like even for Malaysia, Indonesia, and European countries, there, especially the European sides, because those are the market that European car automakers have their attitude. So for Malaysia, it probably will be Proton and Parodua, how they portray their brand attitude. Right now, for the foreign automakers will be Toyota, of course, Honda, which are the bigger players. They want to tell people that what they portray. Example of that is Honda. Automakers in Malaysia currently. It is not because Honda is cheap. It is not because Honda models all are very, in terms of the look or design, it's very attractive. They have a different model which attracts different consumer. But there are, the attitude is basically that we are the top. The design and the attitude is towards sportiness, which works in Malaysia very much. People like to when they buy the car, a lot of youngsters, they like to have something which is more sporty. that's where they were right in targeting the customers and talking to them. And that's where their sport model came into the picture, which in real world they have not sold much, but it gives the people that, wow, Honda has Thai power. So it's different. For Renault, it's in the European attitude is very much that we are of course top, but our how we communicate to the people is that we make cars which can be used for daily life. So most of our cars has USPs which basically can be used on your daily life. For example, one of our car has a drawer which actually can expand when you open. Not in Malaysia again, unfortunately, but to the Europe. So basically, you have more space there. One of our car, actually, you can move your rear seats, all the seats to the front. This is the only car in Malaysia that you can push to the front. It means that you can use the whole space at the back. The same model, the Capture, we had washable seat covers. Means you take out your seat cover, you wash it, you put it back. So the car is not boring anymore. So that's where the tagline comes for Renault is passion for life. So we want to make car which is passion, which gives you the passion. So each of the brand has their attitude, and in order to build that attitude, you need to know the market as well. So passion for life, for a very good reason, doesn't work in Malaysia very much. People doesn't need the washable seat covers. People doesn't need the drawers. They need to know that how big we are, and they need to know that how sporty we are with a cheaper price. That's not a bad thing. It's basically how the market works. So if one day Renault is one of the bigger brand in Malaysia, then the attitude will be different then. So it cannot be the passion. It might be something similar to what Honda does. Right. So that is why both of the market research and marketing research is important for any marketer. And we can see that there are some common areas. Let's say we do not have budget or we do not have time for going individual research for market and marketing. We only can explore the areas, for example, knowing our competitors, how they're pricing their products, what products they're bringing, what is the lineup for the next few years, what are the people they're targeting to, is it a Chinese audience they're looking into, or Malay audience, or everyone together, or is they're looking for the young audience, or is they're looking for female audience. So these are some of the attributes that can be determined, which basically cover both of the world together. I won't go through everything here. I'll just touch point that the chart calls, if I'm correct, it's called relevant view. It's basically to understand 4 areas: awareness, targeting, retention, and acquisition. So basically, awareness is very straightforward, that I want to make my product visible to the market. I want market to know that I'm present in the market. That is number 1. And these are the offerings I have in the market, number 2. And third is I'm very competitive. If I'm not competitive, I have to do the whole marketing different way. So that is for the awareness part. So in order to do that, of course, there are some areas, important areas that we need to work. We need to do our research before we go operational on the awareness activities. So number 1 can be the awareness attitudes, usage research, that how many people are using. Currently, what is my visibility level? How many people knows about me? How many people know that we are a French brand, or we are a biggest automotive maker in the world? So we need to know that. Otherwise, as I say, that we do not know what to communicate. And Public relation research is basically to know that how many communication I need to do. If my competitor is going hard in the market, as an example, they have every month they have one PR release, then I need to know, I need to make sure that I do have the same. If not, people will just read their news and just eventually forget my product in time. And advertising research is the same. So know that what is my competitor doing, how much effort I need to do, or even sometimes in this quarter I want to push more because I have a very competitive price. So let's do it. So those will come from the research purpose. The only one point is the only difference when we were studying and in the real world is when we are studying, we had to make sure that each of the areas are covered very efficiently and with backings, with proof points. In real world, sometimes we do not actually plan for each of the activities, but you are doing it. We all does those research. Only the thing is that we don't realize that we are doing it. And in terms of the proof points comes when we present to the management. So those has to come with numbers. So that is why I was saying that research comes a very important part of the life after study as well. For targeting is basically to know who we want to target. And for that, basically, we need to know our market segmentation. We need to know our positioning where, for example, in the car industry, we have different segments, A, B, C, D, for sedan, A, B, C, D for SUV. So we need to know where we stand. So each segment is basically determined by price. So if my price is below 30,000, it's in this segment. If my price is within this price range, it's in that segment. So if I'm in a B segment, there is no point I go and target D segment customer because they will never buy my car. They're looking for something bigger. So it's very important part. And acquisition is basically all this testing that I was mentioning. So you need to research that your concept, your product optimization, pricing research, pricing optimization. So you start with your campaign and then you realize that the next week your competitor reduced the price. Are you gonna use the same price unless it's a small gap? Most likely the answer would be no, because you need to come back with a new pricing. So it has to be optimized regularly. So the research, these are not like you do the research before the operational. These are ongoing research. So you have to know on your minds every day that what's happening. And the last part is a very important part, which not only in automotive, but most of the industry understands, but it's very difficult to manage because it's the that who was saying that he used a Renault car before, but to keep him as a customer for a longer period is most important because they become our advocates. They know our cars like this. So when he talks to someone else, instead of they probably will ask, what do you drive? Renault. Oh, it's expected. Yes, it is, but I'm using it for the last few years, and that's where my experience tells you that this is the experience I've received. Giving you as a very small example, we emphasize a lot, which was not, but over the years we realized that most of the automotive in the market are failing in that area. So we were small, we were growing. So what we did is, let's focus there. And we improved the after-sales service in a way that we even pick up your car for servicing. So we go to you, we pick your car, we send it for servicing and send you back. There were some complaints in the Facebook saying that, oh, oh, well, your brand doesn't give this, your brand doesn't give that. The good point was some of our customers went there, they actually replied. Instead of we replied, we were thinking that what to reply. We actually had them, but we cannot say those because they will have some other points to revert back. So customers went there, they say that, hey, what are you talking about? I'm in the office, my car is in the service center, it came back, so I don't have to take leave at all. So these are a very good experience I had to understand that customer not only can be with you in your good times, also in your I won't say bad times, but in your difficult times. Because if you sell 20,000 cars a month, for example, there will be at least few cars which has problem, and that can happen for any cars in the world. And as a customer, sometimes we don't understand. It depends on severity of the problem happens. If my car stops in the middle of the road, I'm angry. It's different. So, but when they call us with that problem, how we tackle that is important. I won't name a company, but I had a very I can't because it's in the same with my competitor. I used to own the car, and there was a huge problem. I think Dr. Chai knows the same. And I called them. I started screaming on them. I said, "What are you guys doing? You blah 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 blah." And they couldn't give me the solution. And I was talking on that point, competitor, and he actually took it very seriously. He talked to me very positively, and he said, "Hey, this is not my car, but you can send to my service center and let my staff check on that," because those were not very technical terms. And I was very happy. Then I was like, I went there and I found out a lot of information about those service provided by that company. And eventually I sold my car and bought their car, because the way they tried to retain, although I was not customer at that time, but the way they retain to their usual customers the same way, even I have problems, I like to stay because I know the benefits out of that. So retention is very important, but for that, again, to say that the research is important as well, to know that who is doing, for example, that company A in the automotive doesn't do this, then it's an opportunity for me to include that in my service as well, if it is within my capability. So sometimes we need to know who they're doing, what they're doing, and what type of services they're providing, and how they're doing to improve our strategies to move the brands forward. So I think with that, my presentation should stop here. If you guys have any question, you can ask, or my slide has my email. If you guys want any information, please do let me know. I'll be happy to share the information with you guys.
Any questions? It's about cars. I think everybody owns a car. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the beautiful presentation. I just want to know something which will add my own value from your, will something help me in my future work. That is segmenting. Remember, you said that, of course, for all products, everyone cannot be the buyers. Everyone has segmenting. And also based on the segmentation, we do product positioning and other issues like that. So my question would be to you, from the practical point of view, that how, for example, say if I want to sell a car within 10,000 USD, all right. If my target customers are from the say that within the range of 10,000 USD, then sir, what do you recommend? How do I make the segmenting, and what would be the process of segmentation for attracting to make a research questionnaire to say that to survey for the particular segment? I mean, how do I? On the other hand, I'm going to say that how do I segment, say, on 10,000 sector?
Okay, thank you for the question. I think that's a very interesting question. Okay, 10,000 USD. I will take that example and give you the example according to the current market, so that it's much easier. So 10,000 USD will be probably a good amount to buy the cars, for example, Proton, Paravia. Right now, there are, I can't remember who has the same, but there are Kia as well. So there will be multiple areas to understand before we do the segmentation. So during the segmentation. So first of all, who basically buys those cars within that range? So number one is income level. We need to know that what are the income needed so that you can run your monthly installments. So probably you will see people if they have a joint family where both husband and wife is earning, then probably your mark can be slightly lower because they have support system. But if it's not, then you need to probably think 5,000 above. Who actually can afford that car. It can be lower as well. Sometimes it depends that how their attitude. But so what we say that let's put a mark on 5,000. So we will take slightly higher and slightly lower. So we will start from 4,500 or 4,000 in between to probably let's say 7,000, because when you are at that mark, you will look for another car. So you do not probably want the Proton, or if you want the Proton as well, you want probably the new SUV is coming. So we need to identify that income level first, and then we need the data for understanding that within this income level, who is buyer for your product. It also depends on who are the users actually, because just give you an example of the same car that I was talking about, Renault Capture, always not in the same range. The car showed us the data that the females are more interested. They get very attracted to the car because the car is catchy. It's very striking colors. It looks very, it's like a mini, the BMW's mini car. So they have that intention to buy those cars. So we need to know within the 4,000 to 7,000 mark, who are those customer market that wants to use my car. So if it's a male segment car, we focus more there. And then we find out where to communicate to male. But then again, we cannot forget the females there, because there will be a percentage of females who will use the car. So we have to, when we choose. So when we choose the communication channels, for example, let's come by one. A newspaper, we select those target market, what they read. Do they read newspaper? If they don't read, scrap the newspaper, because it saves a lot of money. But if it's a launch, we always say that we still be in the newspaper for visibility purpose. And so based on the target market, we choose the newspaper. In terms of advertising in the magazines, we can choose even. For example, if we are looking into student segments, then we can actually go and advertise into the schools or universities publication instead of going into the mass market publication. There is no need. And a lot of universities or schools will be very happy to collaborate with a very small investment, or even sometimes they just want some sponsorship as well. So you get the advertising, and you probably give some sort of benefits out of that, like a special price or something. Beside that, what? magazines, newspaper, and then comes to your digital, your billboards. That also comes whether you need a billboard advertising or not. So you want to target mass market. If it's a proton and further, definitely they need to have a more visibility. But additionally, because the price segment is low, your target market will be bigger. So billboard might work a much better way. But then again, when you select billboard for that segment and you're purchasing a billboard in Damansara, Pagana, or for example, forget about Damansara, Pagana because there are a lot of students. Sorry. If you're going to Montiara, it won't work because those people won't buy that car. So why you want to target those people in Montiara? So instead, probably you within your budget you will see different areas where you not believe, but you found that this group of people will be targeting. For example, like if I'm targeting students and I have enough budget, I put a billboard here. So all the students going from here, but here will be also slightly different than, let's say, the other private universities as well. So you need to see that what private universities or what public universities you might want to target. And when it comes to digital, it plays very interestingly because you have all the data. You have how old are they, male or female. You have the income level. Over the year, you also will have location, but which location are the most buyers coming for that product. And you probably will have Google search engine as a platform to always we do not use it for like a very big marketing area. We keep it there, our ads, so that people when they search, they find it. But we use social media a lot. And we use digital network buys. So network buys is more into the performance marketing. Programmatic buying. Programmatic buying is basically what I started my conversation saying that I want to advertise my product. I buy space from Star Online. I buy ad space from Paul Khan, which is in automotive is a #1 platform. But now we don't do that. We set our targets and let the AI tells us what they want to buy. So once you come to my website or you see my ads, the technology will read your pattern. So it means you showed the interest. If you didn't click or you didn't spend time, because when in the mobile, when you're looking into my ad, that counts. So based on that, right after that, wherever you go, we follow you. So that's the whole strategy. So, but then we don't follow you like forever. So it depends on the company, but my personal likings is I only follow 3 times. So if within these 3 times means 3 different websites, if you don't show interest anymore, means mostly you are not interested. Because if you're interested, you probably will click again. And there will be an interval, not like 3 immediately, probably one day. So you have the I know about you. So if you showed interest again, then the next ad set you will see with a different messaging, because I don't want to bore you with the same message every time. So after 3 days, when I know that you showed true interest, and then I can see basically where have you gone to my website. Did you go to pricing sections? Did you go to product sections? Because if you go to product section, it means you are still looking or you are still doing the competitors review. So it means I will tell you something else. But if you're in the pricing segments, I will directly say that you have additional 2,000 ringgit price. Rebates. So with that, there is a probability that you might want to book it. Thank you.
My name is Fu. I heard that you did mention about Standard Chartered on the using the auto answering. How was it being measured that it has actually improved the efficiency? because I believe it reduces the labor, yeah, using automation. But and I believe that more of customer has been handled by using this so-called auto answering. But then, was it measured that all the answers are being answered correctly? You know, the number of customers, you know, has been what I call handled. Yeah? So that was my first question: was it actually answered correctly, and how efficient it is? Yeah? By using digital in the bot age. My second question is about since you are from auto industry, Honda. You mentioned that I think it's one of the most popular here in Malaysia, but there's an issue on the safety airbags. How could digital what I call marketing help in service recovery? Service recovery.
Service recovery.
Service recovery.
Okay.
Yes, of course, you mentioned that issue. Is it use? Do you use digital marketing to help in service recovery, or just maybe manually done?
Right. Thank you. Thank you. I think that's definitely interesting. Let me try to clarify those. Hopefully, clarified. So the number one is basically the question is whether those artificial intelligence technologies can answer the customer's complaint or inquiry efficiently. The answer is not 100% definitely. That's where we get angry customers. So, but the important part why I mentioned that because number one is it's increasing the trend of using those technologies because the large organization has to manage multiple call centers for multiple product ranges. For example, for a bank, they have to have account related, they have to have credit card related. Now, even the credit card has gone beyond, which is premium banking and different sets of people there. But when it comes to calling bank, most of the time we call and we say that we want to know the balance inquiry. So that's the first point. Usually people like to know. So this is somewhere they actually can do it very efficiently because the system can check the account and tells the person that what is your balance. Also, it's much safer because it sees your all details. It's by system, not by a person. So that's one. But then again, when it comes that they want to know more, definitely at this point, the system is not capable enough to cater most of your difficult areas. That's where all the companies will have options. For example, like press 8 to talk to their customer service. So, but eventually, in long term, I believe that that's my personal belief that it will be able to handle customers. It will take time. The reason I say that's my belief is I forgot the name of that robot. There's a lady robot. Sophia, yeah. So it is one of the initial stage of the robotics becoming more advanced. So it can actually learn the pattern and talk to the people. But of course, it's not 100% accurate yet. But think about 20 or 30 years back. Those times we couldn't even think that we will see this. Another example is, for example, how many of you have watched Star Trek like back those time? We didn't have mobile phones that time. And Star Trek, I believe, they are the first ones actually gave people the idea that what is mobile phone. And then it took like years to basically see the actual mobile phone came to the market. So The actual answer will be, I think, that at this moment, it's still a platform which can be solved some basic questions because it's based on the ad sets. But eventually, I'm sure that it will be developed to that level. But it's just a matter of time. The second question was the airbag issues. Okay. The first thing happens when any disaster comes towards any industry. It can be automotive or any other industry. Any big mistake happens, it comes to the digital world first now. So people knows within seconds that, okay, this is what happened. So I will give you a good example what actually Honda did compared to many other industry players who has been affected, is making sure that the PR releases doesn't happen to talk about the airbag failure. They did not want to go this news viral. So some of us knows the issue from friends, some of the newses came in, but it did not go viral. So what they did good is stopped that area, and that can be actually done very easily because there are many softwares right now or platforms which we call social listening. So you put keywords that you want to know. As for this case, for example, you put airbag failure or airbag Malaysia, anything. So you will know within seconds that who is talking about that. So if you find someone is talking about that, you just go and knock that, hey, can you not do it? And if I'm a bigger company, I don't have issues to pay. If I'm a smaller company, I can just request them. So this is one way they stopped it from going it viral. Otherwise, it could be a bad reputation overall. But then again, airbag failure did not come from Honda itself, or even Nissan had it, Toyota had it. Luckily, we don't because we use a different manufacturer. All the Europeans use the different manufacturer. So within few days, the news has been diverted to the Takata compared to automotive manufacturers. So which is actually fair because as an automotive maker, when we install the airbags, there are a lot of checkings, but for a car manufacturer, their importance is to make sure that the bag deploys in time for their car according to their specs. So I'm sure Honda and all the companies had made sure of that. So how they could actually, I'm not sure how they're using now, but except some of the areas, they actually going using their customer data to communicate with their customers in different channels. For example, they do a regular SMS to inform the customer that you have to reschedule or schedule your airbag change date because of this trouble. They do the EDM communication with the customers. They even that's pretty much on that. But what they could do is basically target the same customers with the ad sets. Basically, all the emails of the customers or numbers of the customers they can upload to their system and tell that these people will see this ad on a regular basis for this amount of time. Means that wherever you go, it is reminding you that you have to change your airbags. But I am not a Honda customer and I don't see the ad. So it does not break your reputation in the market. Also, it communicates to your customer because your customer is saying that, wow, how you're communicating with me like this? While my friend is not seeing the ad sets. So this is one way it could be done. The second way, of course, the chat bot can be used, but then again, it's a very critical issue. So probably that is one, and the second probably it needs an investment on the chatbot. So only for these probably they didn't think that it is needed. Unless you already have that and then you pull it to use for this specific purpose, it makes sense. I hope that thank you. Sorry.
This will be the last question. This will be the last question.
I would like to know what is the overall target group or target profile for Renault in Malaysia, and then in that light, what is the value proposition? What I mean here is why should they come for Renault abandoning some other brand? So what value that they should be perceiving? Those are the two questions. Thank you.
Your first question was
What is the overall target profile? Because there are segments was there, but overall there is a particular cohort of customers may be attracted to your brand.
Sure. Renault in Malaysia, I will give the example to Malaysia. Of course, in every country, the target profile will be set depend on each product. Each product will have their individual targets. But then again, if we say overall profile for Renault in Malaysia, then probably it will be in between 25 and surprisingly up to 60. I'll give you some example why it is so low and so high, although we have currently like 3 models. So low is because we have some of the sport car, and pretty much we develop some of the best sport car in the market, in the world. And when it comes to those sport cars, they're slightly more affordable compared to Porsche or Ferrari or those supercars. So what happens is there are parents who will purchase for their kids. So that's where the target profile starts from 25. But I need to talk to them instead of their parents because they need to know what they want to buy. And why it is too high, 60, is because it's also the similar reason that parents are buying for their kids one of our specific model, which is Capture, because as I was mentioning that it attracts a lot of females. And we have a lot of students studying in graduation or even masters and higher who actually owns a Capture. But the purchaser is either the father or mother, or sometimes is the husband as well. So we have to talk to those parents as well, because when they make the buying decision, they need to know what they're purchasing to their kids. For sport car, they don't care. They know that, okay, they want to buy, buy this car, which my kids like. But when coming for a mass market car, they need to know that what's good in it. So what is good in our value proposition comes in a different areas as well. For example, number one, when we started marketing our mass market products, the price was, our thinking was that we are a slightly premier brand, so our price has to be slightly premier as well. But over the times we realized that yes, we are slightly premier brands, but we need people actually to come and buy our cars. So we had to revise our pricing positioning, which currently I think it has been increasing in terms of sales because of that price revision. And in the Malaysia market, how it works is basically that when it comes slightly cheaper for a good product, they will have interest. And then, of course, our side has to make sure that they get a better experience so that they convert. The second value proposition comes is basically towards the gap in the automotive market right now happening, which I was mentioning just now, which is the service, after-sales service. Most of the automakers are facing the issues. And we took that and made it a value proposition for Renault, because we are the first to introduce in the market, in the Malaysian market, 5 years manufacturer warranty. It was like 4 years back. And now pretty much a lot of people are providing that. And in our competitor, there are none who probably will take your car from home or office services and send you back. So we are telling people that, hey, you are taken care of. For example, me, I get so busy in the daily life that sometimes I won't be able to send my cars on the weekdays. Weekends, the service centers are full. So they can't give me the schedules unless I do it much early. So if I can call my salesperson for the car, and he can pick up my car and send back, and also take the responsibility that anything happens to the car, they will take care of it. That gives me some additional benefits. And then the third proposition we added now, because for the as I mentioned that the 5 years manufacturer we introduced them 4 years back, right? And then pickup service we introduced 2 years back. So now we have to be competitive again because others are catching up. So what we introduce is, okay, we are giving you this, and then we are giving you plus 5 years service package. Means you service your car, you don't pay anything because it's parts and labor is inclusive. So basically, what I'm trying to say that each of the time span, we need to see that where we are, and that's how we actually grow that each of our value proposition in time. One more point will be basically, although it's not fully related, but it's an indirect relation is there, towards your product positioning and product selection for the market. Because if the market is not ready for your premium products, there is no value for the customers to buy that car in this market. So if you bring it, it will be just sitting down in your showroom. So these are not direct, but this also comes indirect proposition towards. Hope that's fine. Good. Okay, thank you very much. Thanks for having me. And if you guys need any information, please let me know.
Thank you so much, Mr. Afnan Zafar, for the insightful talk on digital marketing trends. As a token of appreciation, may I call upon Professor Sarapan to kindly present the tech to the Honorable Speaker of the Day, Mr. Afnan. Dear ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your active participation. Now we may proceed to 4C1 for the Hari Raya Open House to endow our lunch at 12 p.m. The President of Malaysia University of Science and Technology, Professor Dr. Prem Kumar Rajagopal, will join us at 12:30 p.m. Thank you.
The next proposal event will start at 1 o'clock. Yeah, please come back by 1. Yeah, so go enjoy your lunch.